Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Onward VR Master League. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I'm joined by my co-caster, Sleepy, with 2 3's. How are you today, Sleepy?
I am doing well, Nightfire. Thank you so much for having me. It is a good afternoon. It's Sunday. It's lunchtime here on the West Coast where Nightfire and I are, and we are pumped up for one of the first, I believe, of the Button Cup matchups here for Season 9, and it should be a good one. Today we've got G-Men, we've got the Chickings, a.k.a. the Vikings, a.k.a. the Chickens, a.k.a. the whatever the heck they're going to call themselves, but today they are the Chickings. But either way, it should be a good one. Chickings, aka Vikings, have been doing a lot of work over the last couple of seasons. They have been improving, but a lot of folks very skeptical about their rise because they seem to dodge the North American challenges. So some folks like to call them Chickens, hence their new name. But we'll see how that works out for them today against G-Men. What do you think, Nightfire?
Yeah, you don't really have the option to dodge the North American challenge in a Button Cup, right? You have to face the music, so to speak, and I'm curious to see how they're going to go up against this G-Men squad, who has been looking very good this season. Super strong start to this season with a win against Globochem. I mean, you can't really kick your season off any better than that. And it's just, they're a team, obviously, that I like to keep an eye on. My old past team that I used to play on. If they play at a consistent level that they should be playing at, I think it's going to be a really tough challenge for the Vikings. But at the same time, the Vikings are a strong EU team. You know, they go up against beginners consistently. They face off against these top EU teams and get that sort of, I guess, practice or a coaching in a sense.
Well, either way, they definitely get a lot of experience with high-level teams from the EU, such as Boss Fight and Beginners. Exactly.
And I think the lobby is up, so we should dive into pick bands. Sleepy, why don't you break us down what we got in store today?
Absolutely. So coming out for the ban from G-Men, they are going to be taking the ban to Tanker, which, after looking at the stats, is a smart ban for them. They have a smaller success rate on it compared to the Vikings. And then on the side of the Vikings, their ban tonight, this evening, depending on where you're watching from, will be Cargo, which we all know if you watch the G-Men, they are pretty successful on Cargo. The man, and I believe it's usually Zach Fontaine, taking that 2-man through the tunnels with the shield and doing damage. So smart bans, I think, from both sides. Not really too surprised here. And then Nightfire, why don't you let the folks know where we're going for this first map?
We're going to be heading to Suburbia for map 1, and I think that's sort of been a new G-Men favorite, especially this season. You know, in past seasons, Suburbia hasn't necessarily been a map G-Men have gravitated towards, but to your point about Cargo, I think they've really honed in on a good close quarters setup. You know, they feel comfortable in these close quarters engagements with that shield duo. And you put them on a map like Suburbia, and yeah, I expect to see that shield come out for sure. You know, I remember, I think the last match we spectated with G-Men, they played on Suburbia, and they did look very good here. So this is going to be a pretty challenging start for the Vikings to come out against G-Men in Suburbia.
Oh, yeah. And this will be G-Men's pick, so they're obviously feeling very confident on it. Though will be a tough first objective for them to attack as we wait for the last few members of each team to join our lobby here. They will get that northeast red car objective, so very defensive objective here. It's very open for the attackers. In order to be able to capture it, they must attack it or smoke it out, obscure it completely from the defense's view. It'll be difficult, but we've seen teams like G-Men be able to do this before. However, I'm sure Chickings, Vikings will have their own answer to those questions.
Yeah, you know, and I guess since we do have a little time here, we can dive into rosters of both squads. Over on the Viking side, we have Spoilty, Mantis, Krorzy, Homunculus Fungi, Lonely Miyagi, Naktum, Nalik, and Uncle Sam. And over on G-Men, the standard roster that we've seen for a couple of seasons now. The Man, 404, Brassmouth, Leo Marvin, Zach Fontaine, Miracle Dev, Biggie Smalls, and Poopa Choo.
Mew. Had to do it for Pooh. Yeah, and so far the lineup in the lobby for the G-Men is to be as expected. It's kind of their starting 5 thus far in this season. Zach Fontaine, the man, a Miracle Dev, 404. And there's Brass the Mouth coming in to fill it out for G-Men. So as expected of sorts, realistically, for that starting lineup for them at this point. They've been doing well with this lineup. They've been very successful. They do well with pretty much any lineup they bring out, but I think this one has been converting for more caps, more points, in general, more kills, all of that, all around this season than the last few. So it's very smart.
Poopachu certainly has been a pretty good addition to that team, though.
For sure, Poopachu's an amazing player.
And I think, if they kind of need I think we might see him on like a downfall or something like that, where you really need a good standout shooter to help get you some picks and help get you, your team open areas to push in. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him on there. Maybe a quarantine if that gets picked up here. But just to have that diversity in the roster is really important because it gives you so many options. You can have a specialist on downfall that's good at sniping, and then have someone that's a great shield user on cargo.
Yeah, for sure. And I wish I could say more about Vikings, aka Chickings here. I really do. I have not seen much of their play. That obviously being a European team, and NightFiree and I being on the West Coast, it's often very it's often very difficult for us to find scheduling, or they schedule which works for them in the EU, during the middle of the week. So it is what it is. But I know that they've been a strong team over in the EU. They've been getting a lot of experience against the big dogs over there, like boss fights and like the silent purges and like the beginners of the EU. So they've definitely got that experience. G-Men definitely playing a bit towards the EU typical play style, but not really. They can definitely vary that a lot. However, have we ever stopped to consider how odd it is that Uncle Sam is playing for the EU? Like, isn't he supposed to play for America?
Yeah,
I just wanted to get that out before the game
that is a good point. That is a good point.
Traitor.
Playing on the wrong side, but maybe that's part of the nuance in the name, Sleepy.
Maybe he's a traitor to the EU. Maybe he's gonna murk the entire Chickings team as they get started here. But it is the Button Cup, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're here, thank you for tuning in. Of course, we know there's another game currently going on, probably getting close to wrapping up by now, NightFiree, I'd say, or at least getting heated up into the end of map 2. But we appreciate you all for coming by. Let us know who you think's going to take the Button Cup, both this game and the overall series. Do you think the NA has got what it takes this year, or will the EU be able to take it one more year running?
Well, you know what, Sleepy? We have this beautiful new feature. We can get that live right now. Taking a look at the active votes. G-Men with 47, Chickings with 24.
Yeah, a lot of favor to the G-Men here for this matchup. But it looks like we'll get to find out here soon enough, NightFiree. As I believe I heard.
You did. You heard it right.
Round counter going.
You heard it right. We're going to dive into round 1 of map 1 on Suburbia. G-Men versus Vikings. This should be an exciting Button Cup matchup. They always are. They always shake up to be pretty dang good. And gold v gold, NA v EU. Who's going to come out on top, Sleepy? What's your vote?
Well, I voted in the poll on the matchups, and I voted for G-Men, and that's just simply because of how I've been seeing them play. They also were able to take down Global Kim earlier this season, as you mentioned earlier. So I feel that they've got what it takes to win this match. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but I think they've definitely got what it takes in their lineup, in their arsenal, to be able to make it happen today.
Yeah, I think I mean, we are 2 NA casters, so the bias maybe favors that.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
I think I'm going to have to obviously side with G-Men there as well.
Well, that's only fair as you did play for
point. I suppose that's reasonable, but I am excited to see what Vikings can do. I want to see, what this Vikings team is made of, and if they can put up a good fight against G-Men, really, because that's why we're here, to see what this NA versus EU matchup's gonna shake up and look like.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's the whole point of the Button Cup. A lot of trash talking in the Discord became a special event here in the VR Master League for Onward. we finally said, you know what, enough trash talking. It's time to put your money where your mouths are and see who comes out on top. And for a while, the NA was doing well to carry that flame, but EU has definitely been carrying it these last few button cups. And you know, I gotta admit, EU has been doing a lot to adapt their style to better play against the NA teams when it comes down to like the finals, the round robins, challenger cups, and even these button cup matchups. So we're finding more well-rounded teams coming out of the EU, but at the same time, that's forcing the NA to start adapting as well. So you're seeing a lot more NA teams slowing down, more so like the traditional EU playstyle, which has now morphed into kind of what we see with the G-Man team, which is kind of an always evolving playstyle.
They've really adapted a very similar playstyle to beginners. Their timings are a little different, but
yeah,
they have played it rounds very slow this season. And now a nice little push coming in here. 3 great smokes along the streak and will allow the man to get in here. Nalik finds 404 over the shoulder of the man. More smokes coming in. A nice nade from Brass to Mouth finds Spoilty. More smokes coming in. A frag coming in towards the man. He ducks down, blocks it with
nice.
his shield.
That was a nice shield play there from the man, and great smoke usage so far from the G-Men. They blotted out the street, then when Nalik got a kill onto one of them, they tossed the smoke at him and basically blinded him. Zach Fontaine gonna go ahead and pick up Mantis as well. Chickings now down to just 3 defenders up, G-Men with 4. And they're in good place. They've got 3 minutes left, not too far to go to get to the objective, and they're regrouping now to try and figure out a new way to approach here. Miracle Dev taking some shots.
Lone Miyagi in a position so close to the enemy here. He stands up a little bit. He's going to be under fire. I wonder if he is actually being spotted through the shield window.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're... Yeah, it looks like Zach's trying to get in position now to take the shot. There it is, the shot, clean and quick with that nice teamwork between the man and Zach Fontaine in their shield play. This is a duo that is quickly becoming, in my opinion, the top duo for shield play together in the league right now.
We're into this series right now. Vikings back against the wall. They do have one down, not Resable. Shots from Miracle Dev coming in. Just speculative, not necessarily tagging anybody. Doesn't catch the rotation in the bushes there.
Yeah, Nalik was trying to get a peek through the bushes here at Miracle Dev's position on the porch. Now he's going for a rotate just as a Miracle Dev does. A Miracle Dev might catch the backside of him, but no, he slips through and Brass to Mouth will pick him up on the backside. Now a Miracle Dev is plastering where he used to be. Luckily, though, he is no longer. Spoilty still down, and there's the kill from Uncle Sam onto a Miracle Dev as he runs out into the open. Brass to Mouth now moving into lane 2 to take up his position. Vikings unable to get the res, and Spoilty more than likely going to be bleeding out here fairly shortly. He went down pretty early on in the round.
Yeah, and, you know, Vikings down to really just Uncle Sam here, but he's in a good position to be over on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's risking the flank, but he's pretty confident that the entirety of G-Men is pushing in from this east side, or from the west side, and so he's positioned himself now where he has all 3 basically in his line of sight. It's going to be a matter of if he can find that triple kill or stay hidden until they go for the push. I think Brass spotted him.
I think Brass sees him. Yeah, he does. And there we go. G-Men taking down Uncle Sam. Brass to Mouth with that final kill. They go up 1-0 here on Suburbia.
Strong start for them on their map choice, coming out with a Marsoc dub. Good way to kick off your Suburbia round.
Yeah, it sure is. They played it smart, and I think what they do well is even if they do play their approach slow, they always leave time for things to go wrong. Like they were within striking distance within at least 3.5 minutes. A couple of things went wrong. They countered, they moved, and they were able to find the angles that worked against the Vikings there and taking them down. But overall, still a great round played there from Vikings, so cannot give them, you know, can't skip over them there basically in that round because they played quite well, but G-Men just had what it was they needed in order to take the round, and that they did. They set themselves up now for a good positioning here in the map in order to be able to kind of walk away if they can now just sit on these bulk defensive wins.
Mentioned in our pre-show that this is one of the first Button Cup matches. That is true, but we have had 3 happen so far. Europe is actually leading 2-1 in the Button Cup. Big Red One beating Fury. Water getting one for the NA boys, beating French Onward Union. And then Silent Purge beating Fireteam Alpha. That Water team, man, they're...
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I agree. They are definitely a completely unsung hero that have just come out of nowhere this season. I'm interested to see where they'll end up on the leaderboard by the end of the season if they keep up playing like they have been.
I mean, they just beat Animal House.
They did? Yeah, a couple of those those Button Cup matchups going opposite of how I thought. I actually thought Fury might have had the victory over Big Red One, though I believe I voted for Big Red One on the matchups page. So I don't know. I'm often conflicting in a big old flip-flopper. So I just love you all so much.
It's too many favorites.
I have too many favorites. You're all my favorites. You're all Daddy's favorites. Uh-oh.
Diving into round number 2 of map 1. G-Men kicking it off with a good Marsoc round. We'll see if Vikings can do the same.
Juego número 2.
That's pretty good timing. Do you have any shields over here on the Vikings side? No shield coming out.
I don't know that the Vikings use shields as much on the more open maps. Not that Suburbia is an open map per se; it's very lane driven. But I think they use that stuff more on the maps like Tanker, Subway, places where there's more enclosed maps like hallways, versus these open lanes like you see here on Suburbia. Anyways, a couple of pre-fire checks from the Chickings as they get started there.
That's a lot of practice and coordination right there. They have all their pre-fire angles lined up between the teams. They're all moving up into designated positions. They got a nice little front line here set up. These guys looking very coordinated right now.
They sure are. A couple of nades coming out, the check nades from G-Men. No connection on either one, though. Here comes another long ranger down lane 4.
Ooh. But
that was the C4 that's going to take down Nalik. The grenade on lane 4 gets no one. Nalik is still resable, though.
Yeah, I think Manus is about to swoop over there and grab him. That movement should be heard by 404. I'm pretty sure he can hear that full sprint. But Nalik does get rezzed.
A lot of early initial pre-firing, a lot of check firing to keep heads down on the side of the defense from the Vikings, but overall not a super aggressive push here. They're not wasting time by any means. They are at the halfway mark here on the map, returning a little bit of suppressive fire as they try and make moves, but they're only kind of highlighting themselves as they move along the map. If I were a Dolphin, I'd have a perfect location on each and every one of them.
I was going to say it's a very careful way of pushing, I suppose, because you're just shooting every single angle, you know, trying to make sure that nobody peeks. And now we're into a huge firefight, brass to mouth. I've never seen so many bullets. How is Brass alive right now?
Well, Uncle Sam is going to find a nice grenade kill on the opposite side of the map onto Zach Fontaine. That'll help the Vikings get across the street over here, but they can't confirm him due to his positioning, so that will be tough. He will be given those callouts until they can take him down. 404 now looking for Nalik in the center as Nalik creeps through. Nalik being very careful not to go through those bushes just yet. 404 going to look away. Could be at the wrong time. Now there's a secondary look onto Nalik's position, but they were not able to connect. Not sure who that was.
Brass to mouth.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, Brass! Getting dropped by Nalik and the teamwork from him and Uncle Sam as he goes for the res. It's not looking good for the G-Men. Now Zach confirmed. Miracle Dev finds Nalik to help the G-Men get back on track here. Now Spoilty's going to rush around the corner, given the pre-fire. He's going to back off right as a Miracle Dev pops up. But the man with a C4 in lane 4 grabs Lone Miyagi. He's going to rush. Miracle Dev rushes out for the confirmation, but he gets double teamed as Spoilty and Mantis are sitting there ready. Now it's the man fending off 2 here lane 4.
Absolute utter chaos. 2:30 on the clock. G-Men into a 2v3 now. Backs against the wall. Vikings looking good. We're going to have another potential engagement over here with 404 and Uncle Sam any minute as Mantis finds the man. That goes... that's a pretty big open gap now for this Vikings offense to push through. They've done a fantastic job of dismantling this defense. The coordinated push across all the lanes. Absolute chaos working in their favor. It all comes down to 404.
Yeah, it is, but 404 is in a bad spot. No matter how he looks at it, there's the pop out to find Uncle Sam. Nobody going to return fire to try and find him on the refrag. They're going to try and go in for the cap here. Smokes are out lane 3. Smokes coming in lane 4 now. As 404 tries to push, and he pushes. They get the trade. But Vikings, with one still left on the board, get the round, and they grab their Marsoc round to bring things back 1-1 here in our Button Cup match.
Yeah, boy, this is why these Button Cup matches are so exciting, because you just don't know what to expect. I guess if you're a EU fan, maybe you do know what to expect. But it's certainly a bit of a mystery for us here at the desk, and it's so far a really good back and forth. That Vikings push was nicely coordinated. They
sure was.
They came in through all those lanes, synced up, nicely timed, chaos across the board, nades landing. Very good moves coming in from them to grab that Marsoc round.
I agree, and their timing was well placed as well. They didn't find themselves running out of time. They did come towards the end of the timer, but not crazy close. They weren't forced to make any pushes that they weren't ready to do. They weren't out of position for their push. In fact, they had enough time to kind of sit there and get set up for that final push where they forced 404 out for quite a while. So they weren't pushed for time. It was a nice sync. You know, as much as I kind of gave it some negative feedback as far as the constant firing as they pushed up through the lane 4 and through the playground, it realistically did work, because like NightFiree said, it kept the defense's heads down so often that they really couldn't get a peek. They really couldn't get any sort of idea, so they were relying based on complete sound location alone to track these players, and it didn't really work out, and they did get a couple of early picks on with a nice grenade from Uncle Sam, though, that was completely missed because of the action going on. You know, but that happens, right? It's just something.
I mean, that happens with good teams. You know, if you get kills across the board while other action is happening, that's what that means the coordination's on point and that you're pushing at the same time.
Right.
We'll see if G-Men bounce back from a very strong Marsoc round from Vikings, though, as we get into round number 3.
Some early fire, some impressive fire from the Chickings as they try and get themselves into positioning here for their defense against this tank objective down towards the center of the southern portion of the map. G-Men, though, not really in a hurry per se either to get themselves into position. They know Suburbia is a small map. They've got 6 minutes to get into position, but a nice
close
Scud missile comes out from Mantis over the side of the house and almost takes out one of the G-Men over there in lane 1.
Little chuckle from Miracle Dev about how close Brass was to die in there. I almost wonder if that's kind of the plan, right? Draw the audio distraction, force a utility out, and then, you know, not die from it.
Sure, Nade coming out from the man and Zach Fontaine as they work their way up. Little surprised Zach Fontaine to be out so far out in front of the man. It seems very uncharacteristic, but I think it's because the man's going to be trying to draw Nalik out from the corner, but they've got to be careful. The C4 in Nalik's hand. He is ready to just chuck and blow. There it comes. And it does pick up Zach Fontaine. Now it's going to have to be the man. Here comes another follow-up grenade around the corner. There's the res. The man able to get his shield in play. Zach able to get away.
Jeez.
This is an amazing shield work from the man and the G-Men team. The Nalik definitely had that played right. He
played that perfectly. C4 out, nade came in. Nalik's now catching heat from the other side. The communication identifying right where Nalik is, a trade between 404 and Nalik.
Wow, and I thought Nalik had that kill all day, but 404 still managing to squeeze that trigger in time. Both teams go down 1. We're at 4 minutes, just under on the clock. Still a lot of action to be had. 4 defenders left, 2 in the north, 2 in the south of the objective.
Such a high caliber match right now.
The play that we've witnessed so far has been pretty killer. I mean, that shield work and teamwork from the G-men there to save Zach Fontaine and avoid the grenade was super killer. The Vikings attack in that last round was great. The first round was great. I mean, every round has had some great plays in it. So very happy about this matchup. Very glad that we signed on for it. And very glad that both teams are just giving it their 110%. Miracle Dev now going to try and find his way up through the side. He's not going to be ready for Mantis' position. Here's the set smoke. He comes around the corner. He might have saw Spoilty. He does! Manages to drop his smoke in panic and pick up his weapon to find him again. Now he's going to root for some utility. Nobody actually going to be inside here, but a nice play to get the grenade to clear up top. As they try and vet for, I'm assuming, that elevated defensive position. Lone Miyagi going to find Zach Fontaine.
Brastamouth and Mantis just on the other side of each other. Pin does get pulled, and Brass hucks a nade. Miracle Dev might be in a position to find Mantis soon. A team kill coming in. Oh. Uncle Sam getting a little bit caught up on the communication there.
I'm just so amazed that he got Brass too. That was such a quick shot. Man, that would have been two enemies that he'd killed. That would have been really impressive.
Yeah, that would have been an insane double.
Man, that would have been some real Twitch shooting right there. Pa, 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 pa.
Now into a 2v2. Miracle Dev in the 2-story. And the man for on burning building. Does he still have that shield? He does. He's got it propped up with a rifle in tow. Tries to find Miyagi on a rotation.
May not find him, but he does call out his position. Now some shots ringing out from a Miracle Dev onto him. Miyagi's not going to quite be able to peek out anywhere. Oh, maybe not. He's still covered by that curtain on the first floor. Curtain saving lives.
Oh, the shield from the man just catching a couple of rounds, keeping him alive. Miracle Dev's got great overwatch, but he has got to be running out of ammo. Minute 30 on the clock. He's going to drop off of that 2-story, and I think he's going to help go be over the shoulder for the man as they try and push in here. They got to start making moves.
Well, here we go. Smokes are out now on the objective. The Vikings are going to have to get aggressive here on the objective, because if not, the smoke lay is perfect for the G-men to be able to walk right up and cap from the driveway. Miracle Dev finds Miyagi. Sorry, I'm used to casting the NA players. And then Uncle Sam able to return favor onto him. Now it's just going to be the man versus Uncle Sam. The man going to opt for the south route on the backside of the tank. He might find Uncle Sam. Ooh, this is good. This could be bad for him. 1v1 against the shield. You got nothing to do but pray here. You got to hope that you can find the angle. Uncle Sam must not have a very solid kill count, because he's not going to be able to. He's looking very panicked right now. He's all over the place. 48 seconds left.
This is the way to play it. He's just got to sit here. He's got Miyagi's comms, so Miyagi can tell him if he's going to cap on the other side of the tank. All Uncle Sam has to do is just sit there at this side of the tank and stay tucked in, and he'll be fine.
Oh, the nade, peek. And Uncle Sam gets the kill, and the Chickings, a.k.a. the Vikings, take the lead on the map for the first time, taking the score 2-1 here on Suburbia.
Excellent round from Vikings. A really nicely played last-minute defense there to get themselves the kill. And, you know, a nice attempted play from the man. He tried to prop that shield up and get shots over, but, I mean, his head was instantly blasted, and Vikings go up 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely. That shield just going bonkers up against that tree. Just bang, 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 bang. It sounded like an old dirt bike flinging around back there. As the man needed that at the one moment he needed his shield to be reliable the most. It was that one right there, and unfortunately it wasn't. Vikings do take the lead, as we've said. But great play still there. You know, we saw some excellent teamwork there from G-Men. We thought they had it kind of locked in. There was a 2v1 situation play there for a moment towards the objective. And then, you know, things just went south and the Vikings took the round. But, man, so far a barn burner. If I've seen one this season, NightFiree, this is one of the better matches I've had the privilege of being able to watch.
Absolutely. It is so far shaken up to be a pretty dang good one. And this is just map number 1. We get this kind of back and forth through a quarantine map or you know, any sort of matchup between these two, I think is going to be pretty dang exciting. So
I agree. I think I really, and this is probably selfish of me, but I really want to see Bazaar.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I think these two teams play Bazaar very well, and I'd like to see how their strategies match up against one another on that map.
still got rounds to be played here as we hop into round number 4. Vikings going on the offense. They have an opportunity to take the map if they target a cap right now.
I'm gonna push lane 1 and do the pre-fire thing.
So good. Just so good.
That was an air as well, so
Things starting off with a little bit of check fire, as we've seen become somewhat habitual for the Vikings so far in this matchup.
Ooh, nade coming in from Miracle Dev. Doesn't quite go far enough. Almost tossed right onto the feet of Nalik.
Great nade. A little too much arc there.
Yep.
A little bit less might have actually had the distance to carry, but still an impressively thrown grenade. Great placement, just not enough oomph. G-Men have started to take their position now, and of course, Vikings have began their pressure checks, testing their positions, making sure nobody's waiting at back doors and in ambush positions for them. One C4 already going off from the G-Men as they get a little squirrely from the pre-fire checks on the Chickings side.
You know, we really haven't had too many rounds come down. I suppose they've been pretty close to the wire, but the action's been throughout most rounds. You know, like it's never been a last-minute full 5-man push or anything like that.
Yeah, no, we really haven't seen that. There's been a few, one or two early picks. Then the mid-round action happens, and then it usually comes down to like a 1v2, 1v1 scenario towards the end of the round. But yeah, mostly it's been very evenly played here from both teams so far. So I'm expecting Vikings to have something here for this objective, but they've got a well-seasoned G-Men team to get through as well.
Viking squad slowly tightening the noose as they get closer and closer to objective. Nalik finding Miracle Dev by the APC is a pretty nice pickup, and he's going to do a little confirm frag. Doesn't find him, though.
Just outside the range it looks, but Nalik will find the confirmation shots instead. Actually, the nade fails to do the work he wanted it to.
Gives them APC control. Nalik can be a serious threat on this side. This objective, if you lose that APC side, it does make it pretty dang tough to defend from.
It's not taking it, though. Bad nade from the man ends up falling onto the awning there. The Spoilty's going to grab Rastum out downstairs, and Vikings are taking full advantage on this round. They're currently up a 5-3 man advantage. The man's stuck inside. He's going to have to be very diligent, as they're going to start prodding this objective pretty hard now.
404 taking some shots. Lonely Miyagi trying to find the refrag. Doesn't land on the 404. He drops back in time. The smoke dissipates over on the APC side, so the illusion is gone there. And yeah, the man is in a bit of a bind. He's got 3 surrounding him.
404 going to make a peek, but Uncle Sam is primed and ready for the porch peek. Just not sure if 404 peaks on that high angle, if he'll be able to get the shots through. It's a tight, tough angle through those little post holes. Well, and here comes Uncle Sam now for a little bit better view. And 404 will grab the first kill for G-Men as he grabs Uncle Sam over by the burning house. Now Spoilty's looking.
Yeah, he's got a lot more people he's got to work out over there.
I'm surprised Spoilty couldn't see 404 there, but now he's looking for the man up top.
Zach Fontaine's on the backside. I'm surprised Zach hasn't spotted out any of this movement here either.
The tanks just obscured it, but Spoilty's like right on the objective.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he going to cap?
He's got the opportunity. He honestly has nobody who can see him at the moment. Now he's taking down 404, and that is the objective clear and free. Where is he? What? Zach Fontaine will find Nalik now in order to help shut things down. The man is going to be under fire from downstairs. He's fighting it off with the Mantis. Lone Miyagi.
Pads out.
Miyagi.
Welty's pads out.
Yeah, he is. Cap is happening. This is over. And Vikings take the first map 4-1 against G-Men. They got caught slipping. They thought they had the perfect back front watch, but because the man was caught up with that firefight at the stairs, he couldn't watch the backside of the tank.
The coordination was just superior. 404 just didn't catch out that cross, and then the man was completely distracted with the central house push, and Spoilty had complete vision denial from Zach Fontaine, who I don't even think saw that move come in. Just an excellent job from Vikings, syncing up as a squad, as a unit, all that suppressive fire that they love to show off. Obviously, you know, drawing attention and drawing eyes does the job. What a way to start the Button Cup map, and to take G-Men's map 4-1. You now go to your map choice. This is definitely a tall order for G-Men to go up against.
It sure is, but, you know, G-Men aren't a team that fold under pressure too often, you know? Watched them get put to the brink a few times to be able to kick back and get things in gear.
True.
It's hard to tell, but yeah, I mean, great play there from Vikings. They definitely earned that one. They walked. I mean, that could have even happened a little quicker, in fact, if he didn't go for that random check off onto the burning port side. I honestly thought that was going to be the death of him right there. But it wasn't. They did manage to grab that cap, so, I mean, kudos to them.
I was just looking at the scoreline there. This isn't a hard one for G-Men to bounce back from. It was almost an even KD between both teams. Everyone on G-Men actually was positive except for one, and now, you know, we go on to Downfall. That's an interesting pick. You know, Vikings may feel confident on this map, but G-Men are also, you know, this is G-Men's. A lot of consider this G-Men's map. Maybe not so much this season, though. I don't know. G-Men are
pretty freaking strong on this map, man. And I know a lot of the EU are also quite strong on this map, so I'm not saying that Vikings can't do. Or wait, did they give G-Men the map pick? I think they gave G-Men the map pick to take.
That makes sense.
To take the Volk advantage. Really living up to their name right now, the Chickings. Definitely chickening out on choosing their own map and losing it. So,
or is it chickening out to not pick side?
Maybe
your frame of mind, Sleepy. You gotta expand.
I mean, it could be that they picked the map and G-Men decided to pick Marsoc as their side.
No, I'm saying maybe it. Never mind. But yeah, this is that it does seem to be the case. Vikings definitely have chosen to take Volk and have allowed G-Men to pick Downfall. Definitely their two strongest maps right now in this season. So makes sense for them to go onto this comfort pick. I am curious to see what the Vikings are going to be able to do on this, though, because like you said, EU obviously their playstyle is suited for longer range maps. Or not so. I mean, I don't know. I guess the argument could be made it's not, but yeah, it should be the back and forth, and that to then go to a 4-1. Crazy, crazy matchup right now. I don't know what G-Men are gonna do.
And I don't think we're done seeing crazy moments in this matchup, NightFiree, to be honest.
Well, that's for sure. As we get into round number 1 of map 2. G-Men versus Vikings in this Button Cup matchup. So far, Vikings taking map 1, 4-1.
Here we go, the rush checks from the G-Men off the ridge line, looking to get the early picks. But I think they might think they have a different spawn. As the dumpster building is going to be a closer spawn than this, so they will have been safe, but they are going to be looking for the push, and they do miss the push up to the White House.
About right.
But nothing went to South Watch yet.
Nothing South Watch?
Yeah.
Middle Hotel guys for sure, though.
Look at this rotation already going on over on the west.
From the man? Yeah, I was just following that, actually. He's really out there. Is he going as a spotter?
I wonder if that's an interesting theory. I was thinking he might just try and be quick playing this and try to go right in for a cap.
It's very possible if the other
could is
portion.
where are the lasers? Let's turn the lasers on.
Oh my! You don't have lasers on NightFire?
I
What is
did, but I'm not
wrong
seeing.
with you?
I do, but I'm not seeing any eyes over here on the man.
No, there aren't. And if the rest of this fire team can manage to continuously draw attention away, there's a good chance nobody will see him. Though, I don't know,
Nalik
maybe...
could easily spot him. There's so many people that could easily peek here. I just don't think anybody's checking.
No, yeah, Nalik's not looking that direction. I don't think he spotted him. He's gonna get by. He's gonna get very close before he spotted.
Oh boy, this
and
is
it's
gonna be dangerous.
The only problem is if the man doesn't have any backup, he could just end up ambushed and killed, and that would give the Vikings an opportunity to possibly pick up a shield and bolster their defenses a bit.
Yeah, it could. He could be delivering them a utility piece.
Yeah, oh my goodness, he is so close.
I
think if he went prone right now...
Oh, Nalik's rotating.
Bye, Nalik.
Oh.
Why?
What?
Why? Why? Oh, no, you had a perfect sneak. I don't think anybody was going to see him.
Wow,
He might still be able to make it up, to be honest with you.
Nope,
no,
not
never
now.
mind.
Well, he certainly is now the attention of the Vikings defense. Nalik has... His eyes will be drawn here. Even Spoilty maybe will shift around to try and get a gander.
Oh, yeah, and the man is not going to be ready for this secondary angle. He's going to make a turn to stay safe from Uncle Sam's shots, but then he's going to find himself the victim of Nalik. It's going to come very shortly, I feel. I'm just watching these lasers intersect. Now he's taking the fire from Nalik, so now he's aware of the secondary angle.
I mean, he is drawing a lot of attention, so
oh, yeah.
he went from nobody watching to everybody watching, which has opened up holes in the defense for G-Men to rotate a little bit.
Yeah, the southeast is quickly becoming the G-Men's territory right now as the focus has completely shifted downhill onto the objective, probably because the man is so close.
Yeah,
They're probably assuming the rest of the G-Men aren't far behind him, when in reality, that's not quite the case.
He's been getting information, to your point early, about him being a spotter. He certainly has ID'd a couple of defensive spots.
Oh, and the G-Men have lost someone due to a drop, it appears. They are down to only 4. That is not what you need in the middle of map 2 when you're trying to make sure to secure yourself a map 3.
Free fire coming in here from G-Men's side on the south push. On to any targets.
And the man is just spotting dudes out right now.
Yeah, I think 404 knows right where Mantis is.
Oh yeah, he's calling, and the man is calling everything out to a T. He's like, he's right near the trees on the south side of the ridgeline. He is painting vivid pictures for his teammates to use in order to take down the enemies. And meanwhile, he's still managing to push himself up even further towards the objective. He's now close to West Church, nearest the dumpster building, but he's going to start taking shots from Lone Miyagi up on the white building.
Mantis here gets a little trade-off onto 404. Miyagi is putting some rounds out towards that shield. Turns things into a 4v3 with some comms coming in from the hilltop, so not the worst place really to have vision.
No.
Loyalty's been pretty disciplined on his defensive spot, though. Tucked in here at the start of the round and hasn't moved since.
No, he hasn't. The G-Men coming in on a minute, though.
Yeah, 45 seconds.
If the man can make this crossing right here, it's pretty much...
Smokes are out. Nalik's throwing a nade. It's behind him. Oh, it's just a flash.
Oh, good for the man. Bad for Nalik, because he can continue to just kind of walk his way out here. I don't even think Spoilty has really come. There's the nade, though, and the man's not going to be ready for that one, and it gets the man.
Huge.
What a clutch moment for the Vikings there.
Miracle
and there,
Dev.
Nalik finds a Miracle Dev on the West Street. The confusion and the smoke, all the explosions, and the Vikings take their first round on defense here on Downfall.
What a weird question. I don't know. I have a lot of questions there for G-Men on what they were doing. Why would you shoot your pistol across the map at somebody?
When you had the complete ninja sneak.
What sense does that make? I don't understand why you would... I don't know.
It's not a play that I would have thought would have come out of it. Come out of G.
No, that was a complete surprise move. If the man had just gone to objective, he could have capped it with 5 defenders alive. Yeah. Like, that was...
Yeah, I mean, situational call, that was definitely not the right one in hindsight, but, you know, he still managed to get impressively close with all the people that he managed to have spot him. He had Nollik spot him in the dumpster building. He had... Lone Miyagi spot him on the white building. He had the guy in the 2-story objective building, or the other objective building over there, I forget what it's called. And then I think even the guy on the Marsoc Hills spotted him as well. So at least 3, if not 4 members of the Vikings knew where he was, but he still managed to get within like 15 feet of the objective. And if it wasn't for the fact that he was sprinting in to go for the cap, that grenade might not have even gotten him in time, and he would have gotten that cap, and this would be a different game. But it did. Things happened. Now the Vikings are up.
Yeah, so many. That was such a great defensive move from Nollik in that 2-story. Honestly, he saved the round.
Oh, big time he did. Oh, big time he did.
We'll see what Vikings break out for their offensive round as we hop into round number 2. Map 1.
And a quick spawn.
Did they go prone?
I don't know if they went fast enough, but then again, I don't know that the G-Men were checking early on in the round, so I think Vikings might have gotten away with it, but the man is already looking, and he finds Spoilty with a clutch headshot right out of the gate. 2 members of the G-Men are now pushing their way up to the center hotel. We're 10 seconds in, already 1 kill down, and now they're continuing the push. Brass&Mouse looking, but Mantis is just around the corner. He's going to miss him just barely, though.
Brass had to have heard. Miracle Dev's posted up. Brass going to get up onto this 3rd floor. He'll have nice angles onto some of these guys, but they should be expecting him up here for sure, so... As soon as he pops up here, he's got a couple of lasers.
The nade. Oh, it was almost close enough, but Nollik going to be able to find the shots onto Miracle Dev downstairs. Brass&Mouth going to be looking for Nollik now. If Nollik stands up here to go for the check, Brass could find him. No, maybe not. Yeah, no, it's a very tough angle, but it's there.
Actually a good rebound from the Vikings. They've managed to suppress Brass. They've got Nollik pushed up a little bit here on this wall.
The pressure on the center hotel is ridiculous right now. Brass just hearing nothing but suppressive fire, and Mantis almost going to take himself out there with a nade for the window, but it's not going to quite go in. Is he going to try and rush the back door? Because if he does, it's going to be all Brasses. I think he hears Brass. Even as slowly as Brass is moving, I think Mantis has managed to hear something go on inside.
One dead.
Gun, is that the Tar?
Yeah, Tar 21, man.
Dang.
It's quite underrated. I like the weapon, but a lot of folks do not. Nollik gonna find 404, and the G-Man defense melting away little by little. And Brass is going out to find Nollik. He will, but will it be in time? Mantis gonna be right there behind.
That was a huge move. Nollik was about to snag another kill there.
Brass is going to run right by Mantis here, and Mantis is going to be able to get the kill. G-Men down to 2, Vikings at 2. About 4 minutes left. This defense has to hold out if the G-Men want to stay alive. They've got a lot riding on this, and the man needs to be very, very careful here.
These Vikings players always watching the right angles, it seems. Always catching these rotations from G-Men. Just doing a great job of checking the correct spots, and Mantis here with a great angle onto the man.
They have the angle. The only problem is Zach Fontaine has got to make some long shots when those players look to cross towards the objective. If he misses those, then the man is under fire and is suppressed. an attacker could make it under the radar and get in there and get to cap. Luckily for them, they don't have to worry about someone coming in from the backside and going underneath the building for the cap, as both attackers are here north of them. But that is definitely a blessing, because normally you're panicking, because then you have to cover both doors. You got to cover outside in front of you. You got to cover behind you in the basement. It's a ridiculous amount of pressure.
Another nice headshot, TAR 21 from Zach Fontaine. The long range angle you're a little bit worried about actually comes and pays off.
It very much did. I mean, but Zach Fontaine, he's a strong player. He's been nothing but good for the G-Men ever since coming on board. And as I mentioned, he and the man are probably the best shield duo I've seen in game for a while. The man with a little check nade outside the objective, but the Vikings aren't going to quite be close enough just yet. 2 minutes out, and he's got a heck of a journey ahead of him. Zach Fontaine still keeping an eye out from the northern perch on the hill.
I think Miyagi has advantage here on this wall.
He can actually probably sneak by Zach
Yeah.
Fontaine if he plays it prone and slow enough, but I don't know that the time is on his side to do that.
And a half.
But he's going to have to move so slow to get past this break in the wall that he's currently sitting at, as well as the one after the car where his other dead teammate is lying. So it's definitely pressure on his shoulders right now to convert on this one, but at least they were able to secure their first defensive round, so they can still ride that out so long as G-Men aren't able to find a Marsoc round here at any point.
Find this pick here. Oh, he misses the shots on the corner. That's going to give him away to Zach Fontaine, who's got an overwatch onto him, and 3 pickups with that TAR 21 give G-Men a round win.
Zach Fontaine put himself up with C4 afterwards.
Always good to celebrate.
Go out with a bang, if you will. Uh-oh. I'm both worried and excited for both teams on this next objective, because I think that the tactical play style of both of these teams have the possibility of capping, but it just depends. Whose cap is it going to be? Is it going to end up being G-Men's cap? Is it going to end up being Vikings cap? And they go towards clenching a second map and possibly another win for the EU in the Button Cup.
I want to see if G-Men can put on a decent Marsoc round here, because if the man hadn't been there, they really got dismantled otherwise. The Vikings really picked their offense apart, aside from that little sneak from the man. So, you know, I'm curious to see if the Vikings defense will be looking as strong here on this objective, and if they'll be able to kind of take it to G-Men again, because if they just keep doing that, then they've got the second map and the series.
Whew. Some intense rounds here, even on Downfall. The action spread out once again throughout the entirety of the round, I feel like. Downfall probably had a little bit more of a lull between each engagement, but not that bad. Not as much as you'd think for a Downfall matchup. But now G-Men going to be attempting their next attack. Got the headquarters building here by the Volk Tower in the northwest. What can they do here? Will they have it? They have the eastern spawn. How will they approach this? Will they get the cap? Will they be able to pull themselves back here in the series and take things to 3 for the real decision on who comes out on top in this Button Cup matchup? Nollik gonna get brave and barely make it in that door.
Oh, that's interesting. Gone and toss C4. He's going to tuck himself in here. He's going to wait for the audio cues and detonate that when he hears somebody inside here. I like that. We don't see a lot of C4 play on Downfall.
Yeah, and if you do, you see it a lot closer to the objective usually.
They have a fifth?
Yeah, it's just not shown on the map.
Okay.
It's from where I think Zach dropped on round 1.
The interesting defensive setup from the Vikings. Do they have eyes on this route 404 is taking? Does anybody? Uncle Sam does. But if he gets smoked, they have Spoilty. He's also in that corner room.
I mean, Nalik essentially is in position. All he
That's
has to
true.
do is like look out the window and fire. But
Yeah, they do have quite a few coverage angles to cover the outside.
just on first glance, they don't look to be that strong for it.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
in reality, yeah, they do have it pretty well covered. Uncle Sam is going to be the hardest pick, and he'll have no idea Nalik is there until Nalik makes it known he's there. So it's tough. 404 is going to be in a real nerve-wracking position here.
404 heard Spoilty, so we know he's assuming one's in there.
Yeah, I see his laser dialed in on that window, but I don't think you're going to find Spoilty
Yeah.
coming out of that corner.
I don't think his job is to be peeking that window.
Yeah, his job is to watch the approach.
.404 is very aware of all the angles he can get shot from, though, as you see him making his move here. He's checking everything. He's checked Spoilty's corner. He's checked where Nalik potentially could be. Uncle Sam, though, as long as he stays here, is going to catch this rotation.
Oh yeah, but when is 404 going to acknowledge the position and turn to look at Uncle Sam's spot? I guess he's got a few seconds, but not enough.
Pretty odd to leave that window uncovered.
Yeah, like it's not something I would have expected to see from a player like 404. He's definitely played Downfall enough to know that that building is always the watch spot for the objective out in the open. So unfortunately, G-Men go down 1. Vikings managed to stay on top here.
Fortunately.
But the man is actually got an interesting approach that I'm not sure is quite covered either.
They do have Mantis, who's got eyes on the back entry, if that is something he wants to do. They also got Miyagi inside to, deny the cap from happening on the inside. But it does seem to be a bit of a weaker defended angle, because if he can get past Mantis and Miyagi, then he's in. But that is not an easy task, because they do have that crossfire right on the entry point.
Yeah, he can avoid Miyagi as he approaches. He's not going to be able to avoid Mantis, so getting Mantis is going to be key for him, or he's going to have to back in that door. Oh no, he's going to call attention to himself again. Probably to pull their attention away from the other members of the G-Men.
That smoke could have been huge if they had thrown it when 404 was there.
2 minutes left. What I'm concerned about is Zach Fontaine rushing up down now from the South Hills. He's way out of pace with the rest of the team, and he needs to get back down there and back up the man, because the man's going to be coming into contact with all of those objective defenders very soon. But now the man's actually going to push through the burning helicopter section instead of going the western street, so he might only encounter Miyagi, and if he can take down Miyagi, he could probably back his way into that door downstairs and get into the room to cap before anyone can maneuver around and get into the objective building.
Trying to
But it's looking like
smoke out Uncle Sam.
it's definitely a multi-pronged attack, though, as the push from the east is coming in as it comes in from the south. Zach Fontaine hears the shots from Mantis. Lone Miyagi is going to find Zach Fontaine right as he gets to the man's back. Nalik going to find a Miracle Dev as well, and that's essentially going to shut down the push. Now the man backs right into the Miyagi, and Vikings set up to take yet another defensive Wolf win.
Yeah, they absolutely picked apart the G-Men offense. And I think G-Men are trying to sort of sneak the cap in there. I think that's been their approach for a good chunk of these rounds, and it just hasn't paid off. They've gotten close, sure, to objective, but just, I don't know, Vikings looking great on the defense here, grabbing another round. That was a very strong defensive setup. They they didn't let anything through there. They had all their angles covered. Very tight, kill box around OBJ that the G-Men just didn't have enough utility or coordination to penetrate.
Yeah, impressive there. It seems like Vikings have really done their homework, is all I can say. I mean, they're ready for just about all of these offensive pushes the G-Men have brought to bear on Downfall so far. They haven't been able to successfully, convert on Marsoc. So right now, the Vikings are slowly leaning into that Volk advantage, and one by one, they're getting their Volk round wins. But, I mean, G-Men are also getting their Volk round wins, so it could be that in one of these later rounds, Vikings could get a little too lax and slip up and let the G-Men get a Marsoc win. And if that happens, that could be the end. We go to 3 for the series and find out who really is today's victor. But right now, the Vikings are looking stupendously strong here as we move in to their attacking round on that Volk headquarters objective.
Early defensive smokes from G-Men as we hop into round 4. Mirror spawns, so we'll see what Vikings do with this sort of quick action. Playing it pretty dang quick. Spoilty already up here where 404, where the man was at about a minute 30 into the round. Nalik also now reinforcing Spoilty on this backside. 404 underground will probably miss Nalik rotating up to this 2-story. Nalik does find Brass to Mouth. A nice shot through the window. Now Vikings are up. Do they have the coverage? They don't. There's pretty weak coverage on the outside here from G-Men.
Did you get him? Can I get you? Flashbang. Can I get you? Yeah.
404 with a crazy trade. Misses Spoilty. Finds the frag onto Nalik. Spoilty was hit. Did get a heal off. But a nice little bounce back from 404 there. That could have been a real bad news bears situation for G-Men. If Vikings had grabbed 404, they would have had easy access to OBJ. And really, 404 is the only thing preventing an outside cap.
Hey, West Rex, let me shoot this guy outside. I got one down.
Great offensive setup here from the Vikings. They've got a nice 4-man spread, great lines of sight across a ton of different angles that G-Men may try and peek or rotate out of, and gonna make it really hard for the man to get out of his defensive position if he wants to.
Don't die.
Pretty dang risky peek here if the man decides to poke his head out on this corner. He's going to try for a long nade. Doesn't quite get over that wall, but that was pretty close. That could have been a nice frag onto Uncle Sam. Spoilty grabs 404. Spoilty does not get refragged either. Shots do come in from Zach Fontaine onto the toes. A huge crucial kill there, preventing Vikings from being able to just sprint straight up to objective and cap on Zach.
I don't have to do these side.
2 minutes on the clock. Vikings looking to add another point to their lead and push things up 3-1. It is something G-Men cannot afford as they have their backs against their wall, losing map 1 4-1.
Yeah, they got to find something here, but they need to make sure that they are not overexposing at this point, because there's still plenty of time for the Vikings to make their push, and they currently have the man advantage, so they're gonna use that against them if they can find it. Zach Fontaine spots a move. He's unable to connect. The man does find Uncle Sam though out in the open. He needs to stay back though if he wants to stay away from the likes of Lone Miyagi. Zach Fontaine goes down on the objective. That's not good. Minute and a half left. Lone Miyagi could simply rush up and cap right now, but they're not aware of that just yet. The man now going to move onto the rotation. He's going back for the objective. He's got time, but does he have the coverage? He's got to make a move. It's going to be super risky, and he's going to stop to crouch out in the open. Not the most recommended thing, but here come the smokes from Lone Miyagi out towards the OBJ. The man's going to have to watch it from inside. It's going to be very unlikely that he'll be able to hear anyone coming into the back door. He sees Miyagi in the window.
55
No
seconds
connection.
left. He's rotated back over here to Mantis, who has eyes on through the window. Just misses shots on the man as he rotates around. Man ducks down, looks for the angle onto Mantis, and he can't quite find it. Mantis hasn't pushed out. Man doing a great job of staying prone here. Finds Miyagi. A nice kill there. And now Mantis on a rotation. 35 seconds left. The man spots him. No, doesn't. He spot him out.
What is he doing? Oh my goodness, why? Why did you do that, the man? That was completely unneeded. You should have waited it out, or if anything, gone into that little side nook room and just watched that objective.
Weird.
Oh my goodness, that's so painful to watch. But great play there from Vikings. They do end up converting on Marsoc, and now they are on the verge of sealing this series and this map on the next point.
Great job from Mantis on rotating around on that side to catch the man out there. Another questionable move, sure. I think what he was trying to do is fully clear objective. I don't know why he kept sprinting down, because he had it cleared. He just had to tuck back in and wait for audio cues because he had 30 seconds left. There was no need to apply the pressure he was trying to apply, but you know, when you don't know the time, when you're under fire like that, he just picked up one, he's feeling the heat. It's hard to really use your best judgment, and you know what? I think the man had his eyes, I don't know. He definitely wasn't watching where Mantis was. In a great round from Vikings to go up 3-1.
All I can say is I'm glad I didn't put money on this game, 'cause I would be not a lot richer today as things have stood so far. But G-Men aren't dead yet. They still have a chance. A cap here and a defensive win could bring them the second map still, but that likelihood is pretty high. Pretty low, I mean. So
pretty wishful thinking.
We wish them all the best, but it's looking like the Vikings have done an impressive job at really setting themselves up for the win here in today's Button Cup matchup. But things are not over yet as we slide in to round number 6. No, 5, because I can't count.
Miyagi taking some shots there as he rotates out. I wonder if he's going to keep trying to rotate and get into dumpster building. Might have been able to catch a G-Men defender if he did, but gonna stay tucked back. And yeah, we're into round number 5. EU absolutely crushing, honestly, G-Men right now. The score line heavily favoring Vikings. 4-1 map 1, 3-1 on map 2 right now. And they're looking to grab themselves a pretty dominating series if they can get this defensive round.
Yeah, they sure will, and it's tough breaks for G-Men because these Button Cup matches do have MMR consequences. So this loss will unfortunately hurt their MMR if they do happen to lose this series out. And Vikings will stand to gain a good bit, if I do believe. I mean, I don't recall the current rankings. I guess I could look that up. Oh yeah, this is G-Men are number 2, Vikings are number 4. There's only about a 10 MMR spread between them, so one will probably just kind of usurp the other on the rankings, I would say.
Yep. Good for Vikings, though. Puts them in a very strong position to be going up against beginners in that EU division.
Oh yeah, for sure. Be interesting to see what the G-Men have in store here. As I've said, they're not ones to typically fold under pressure, but at the same time, the cards are definitely stacked against them at the moment. A 3-1 deficit here on the second map of the series after a comeback win from Vikings of 4-1 on map 1, like you said. That's tough to have to deal with. A long-range nade going to come out from the man. Oh, and it bounces just a little unfavorably, but gosh, what a placement.
I was trying to figure out where that came from. He's up there on the backside with the shield. I wonder if they've spotted him. I think he's gone undetected again.
Yeah, he has. Don't worry, though. He's going to stop and pop a pistol round off at some point. Let him know.
Yeah, from half a mile away.
Yeah. Like, hey, I'm out here in the open. Just letting you know. But he is giving good call-outs, and he's got, who is that, 404 watching that hill line like a hawk, trying to make sure that he does not make it up or continue those peaks, but
he thinks that everybody's always looking at him. He sees the back of enemies, and he assumes that he's being spotted. Uncle Sam has not even had eyes on this back hill the entire time, and the man could just easily walk up behind him and knife him right now. I don't think that's what Man is going to do, though. I don't think Man's looking for kills at all. I literally think he's just being a spotter.
Well, I think his plan is to spot up until a certain point, and then he can assist. Oh, why?
Weird. Whatever. Who cares? We're going to watch the push. I don't care what the man's doing anymore. I'm not going to watch his moves. We're going to have eyes on 404.
Well, 404 is getting mighty close here, as no one has picked him up here on the push up. Miyagi finds Zach Fontaine on the back, but 404 is there for the refrag, and all the smoke's out, but could it be 404 goes in, he finds the trade on the objective. The objective is open if they manage to get someone down on it, but that's going to seemingly be the problem, as their only members remaining are on the open hillside as a Miracle Dev pops Nalik, and then of course G-Men, or the man up on the hill, aimlessly popping off shots with his pistol.
You know, this has got to be a cap moment for this G-Man team. They can't let this pressure get to them right now. They have a 3-1 advantage with Uncle Sam trapped on a hill. They can easily send Miracle Dev on a long rotation with a minute 30. He could drop back over to that objective side. They could push Brass to mouth up, but pressure's high, so you got to secure your map dub, and I think that's what Brass is probably going to end up doing here. He pushes up the hill. No, Uncle Sam finds one. The back end shots from Miracle Dev pick up G-Man a Marsoc round, and that's a pretty big way to start to answer back.
It is. It's what they need. The cap would have been better, because then they would have been at 3 and going into their defensive round on game point. But now at least they've canceled out the Marsoc advantage that Vikings were able to pull out. So now they got to win this next defensive round and hopefully win it on offense on the final round.
We've been ribbing G-Men pretty hard, but we have the caster vision, if you will. You know, we have that perfect sight. We see where the lasers are, and they don't. And so, sure, it's easy for us to say, why would you do that? Why would you look for this? But I think it's always, important to remember that these guys, they just don't have the sort of clarity that we have. It's and oftentimes way, way less clarity. That's kind of where the entirety of this game's teamwork mode element comes in, is how much information can you gather as a squad so that you can have an understanding of what you're trying to go up against. Either way, this has been a fantastic series to drop into. Nalik.
Yeah, it really has.
7-3 on the kill feed.
Yeah, the G-Men definitely a little bit more spread evenly amongst, and with the exception of Nalik stealing all of Uncle Sam's kills, it's about the same on the Vikings team too. So a very evenly matched squads here today. I know they're going by Chickings, but they're definitely being quite Vikingly.
Yeah.
It was a dumb word, but I said it, and I'm sticking to it.
They're feeling very Norse.
Norse.
Look at all these defensive smokes. They want none of the pre-fire angles to come in as they move up. Although these smokes not really going to do much.
I think they're okay. They do get their one guy into the White House, but he has been spotted. They know he's there. They're going to be looking for him. There's also a lot of pressure on the Volk Tower, on the Marsoc twins, as Miyagi tries to put some shots on. And who is that? The man? I think the man trying to maybe get into that north dark room.
Look at the Vikings' aggression. 4 in hotel already.
Yeah, but see, that's the easy part of this push,
Sure.
is getting here, because your defense, especially if they play it like G-Men and they like to play it out just a little bit and cover those eastern flanks, like, no one's typically watching too hard, so you're kind of safe to get up there, but it's where you go from here that makes or breaks your team. So I'll be kind of sitting here watching it from the skyline to see what happens as Zach Fontaine finds and kills Lone Miyagi in the back, leaving only the 4 remaining Vikings currently enclosed in the center hotel. And I'm very curious. They're gonna have to spend a lot of utility, I feel like, to get out of there.
Ooh, this is interesting. Mantis with night vision to try and get good eyesight into these dark rooms.
Can we just wait 30 seconds?
4.5 minutes. Vikings are well close enough, that's for sure. They don't need to be any closer at this point in time, realistically, but they are going to have to start figuring out how they're going to make it. I've heard a call for
they got
requesting the smoke.
Foot on the gas, dude. They wanted to go, and Mantis is like, let's just get 30 more seconds. I just want to see if I can get a peek here and find a pick. They don't need to be going pedal to the metal right now, but maybe a 4-minute push coming out soon.
My smokes are laying in front of the stairs to the roof, like always. So.
Shoot. Okay, shall we do it then? Wait.
Yeah, you need to concentrate your fire on the Mascot guy, right? I will shoot on White House.
This little pile of smokes.
Yeah, they're gonna smoke it. They're gonna it sounds like they're gonna smoke while also concentrating fire on a couple of points. And I think they're gonna send probably Nalik and Mantis on a spy mission. Ooh, but Brass the Mouth is gonna spoil that plan just a bit as he picks up a nice headshot onto Uncle Sam right before this push begins. The smokes are out. They're all laid. Are they confused as to what objective this is?
I don't know. Nalik goes down on the cross. Mantis is going to be up next as he tries to peek out from this smoke. Doesn't get spotted.
404 manages to miss him on the scan. Now he's going to see that body's moved. All these lasers on the Nalik and nobody able to connect. He's managed to get himself behind that wall, but yeah, I'm not really seeing those smoke placements that the Vikings threw out being very advantageous. Nate gonna come over here for Brass to Mouth. No effect. 2 minutes, 38 seconds now. And again, as we said, it's from here that Vikings will claim their fame. Will they be able to secure this?
I wonder if they wanted to get where they are. I wonder if Mantis and Nalik wanted to be right here, because maybe this is phase 2 of their plan. A nice nade gets tossed up and over to maybe catch Miracle Dev at the door. That doesn't quite land. Oh, you know what? Nalik was trying to throw it into the chimney. That's an insane attempted toss.
That is the ballet guy then.
It is. Brass has got to be careful. He has got eyes on him non-stop. He keeps going for peeks, and he's got plenty of coverage around him. He needs to just go ahead and tuck in. He's got 4 other defenders that can watch the angles of approach around him. If he can get a peek and a pick, that's great, but it's not required. He's got other teammates that he could really be leaning on right now in this last minute 46, because he's going to need to be there when the final push comes in case others have gone down.
404 is looking right at these guys, but they just aren't peeking up and over the wall enough for him to actually get shots onto. An interesting rotation is coming in around to their right, though. Not too concerned about it. 404 finally finds Nalik. Mantis still trapped inside here. I thought Miracle Dev was going to drop outside for a second and cross around.
So, and the other thing is, I'm pretty sure they have now officially used all of their utilities, so I don't think there's going to be any more smokes to help them get across. So they are basically stuck out in the open, and Brastamouth peeks for the look. He does find Mantis with another beautiful headshot.
D-Men doing a great job of answering back here. Spoilty does cross out, tries to come over here and grab a rifle with some more ammo. 404 is very dialed in onto this wall. Brass also.
Less than a minute left.
$1v5, not going to be the easiest thing for Spoilty here.
No, not with 40 seconds left on the clock. He's soon going to get that notification that it is 30 seconds, and he is not going to be happy about that. And here comes the rush up from Spoilty. He's under fire. He's going to find 404, but there should be some refrag shots. He's dropped his weapon, and now he's going to go in with his knife, I guess. That was hilarious.
Just resigned to his fate as he decides to go into the...
Spoilty MVP of the game for that move right there. He, in true Vikings fashion, he said, not giving up, and he just pulled out his knife and let out a Norse war cry.
You guys are really not being Chickings today, that's for dang sure.
They sure aren't, NightFiree. They are being brave Norse warriors. And definitely representing the EU well here in the Button Cup today. That comeback win on Suburbia in a deadlocked match there. Then they put up a strong 3-1 lead here on this map, which the G-Men are currently clawing back. But as we know, it's now time for round 7.
Yeah.
And it's basically do or die for G-Men. If they do not convert here, it is over. The series will go to Chickings, to Vikings, to the EU in this Button Cup matchup. And the third round will just be for that ominous MMR loss game.
Fun matchup to drop into on a Sunday afternoon, that's for dang sure.
Sunday.
Well, we got some time. Shout out to everybody that is dropping in and catching this matchup. We do appreciate you tuning in. If you are new here, hit that follow button. If you do have Twitch Prime available, consider using it. Support goes back to us casters and the VRML to help deliver you this fine, high-quality VR esports product.
Yeah, big shout out to thanks to all the viewers, of course, like NightFiree said, but also big shout outs to our sponsors here at the VRML, ProTube VR and VR Cover. If you don't know who they are, you must have been living under a rock for the last 2 years, because they are some of the best VR product accessory companies out there. They provided us great support here at the VRML for years now, and we truly love them. So be sure and go check out their websites, vrcover.com and protubevr.com, for all your VRML needed accessories.
We're into it, Sleepy. Round number 7 of map number 2. Technically series point if Vikings can go ahead and snag this defensive round.
Sudden death.
They do Nalik to a very similar defensive position to that last round. Yeah, that defensive C4, just like anything else with these casts now, going to be a known position, especially with all the eyes on it.
Yes, nothing is safe.
Nothing is. Team going to be taking their time with this one, sending 2 all the way around to get up to that north side. They got 1 way up on the hill on Overwatch. Is that Daggum shield user again? No, it's not. It's Zach Fontaine.
No, not this time. It's not. I think the man is actually sticking close to one of the other players this time. Yeah, he's got 404 with him this time around. They're pushing the northeast side of the map currently. I'm assuming the man's going to be trying to get into a position to provide some sort of overwatch. He might set up his shield for 404 up on the rooftop of North Hotel. As we have seen 404 up there in games past, taking shots at defenders, so it wouldn't be unlikely to put him up there, but I'm sure the man is going to come up with some location in order to provide call-outs to the rest of the G-Men squad.
I'm gonna come with you then. Hold on. Slow down. Slow down. Try and get behind you.
Alright. Just go, do what you're gonna do and I'll stay put.
Well, I went to go down with you. No, I'm gonna go down with you.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, I'm right behind you. Go, go. Continue walking.
Man's a little cranky today, isn't he?
Well, you would be too if you were getting so close to these opportunities of getting caps and drawing fire and doing all these call-outs and not seeing the...
Hey, well, he also is the one who decides to pop his pistol off 200 yards from the objective at a guy who's constantly moving. So I'm no sympathy for me on that part. But yeah, maybe he just hasn't had enough coffee yet today.
They are certainly setting up pretty well right now. Take a look at the overhead. They got their 2-3 split coming in to fruition very, very nicely right now. Oh, and Chickings had a drop. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
No
well,
way.
It's kind of fair because the G-Men also had a drop in one of their one of the first rounds. So it's kind of fair. It's like, okay, you each had a drop. Granted, it's not like it was in the same round or anything, but yeah, it kind of sucks. But that's not to say that this will give G-Men the advantage. This is still a very difficult objective to attack. However, I think the person who dropped was maybe sitting in Brothel and was providing kind of the extra watch on the open section of the objective. So it's hard to tell what will happen now, but that is a rough go of it.
It's so infuriating. Especially, as that happens on your team at a high, the most important round. We'll see, though. Vikings have been doing fantastic on defense. They've been absolutely picking apart any G-Men offensive push towards the objective. So
the problem is, are they nervous now because this is, map series game point, basically? And are they getting tense now, especially with the player drop? Has that changed their mindset? Are they panicking right now? Because if so, that could be their downfall. That could give them the loss of that advantage. But now the advantage is gone anyways because Uncle Sam has found both the man and a 404 on the sneak from the north. He's finished both off now. It's a 3v4.
This G-Men team has just not looked coordinated even a little bit today. They haven't pushed.
They have.
I don't know, dude. They've always, I don't know if it's the play they're trying to do where they just send one out to try and get the cap and sort of slip in, but it ends up just putting them at a disadvantage. 404 had pad out when he should have been checking an angle on second story there. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's definitely not the level of G-Men that I've been seeing this season, and the decision making that we've seen so far. And I mean, I've been quite vocal about some of it. Hasn't been what I've given them credit of in the past, which is being a very methodical and thoughtful team when it comes to approaches and angles and how they go at something. And right now they haven't been doing that very well on Downfall, especially. Suburbia was a little bit better, but on Downfall so far they are not pulling their weight at the moment. And now Braston Mouth has gone inside. He will find Spoilty, so that'll be good for him, but they've got less than a minute now to get out there. They need to finish taking down the rest of the members inside the hotel before they can hope that this push will go well.
Those are good smokes. Somewhat. Brass is so close to getting hit here. He does actually cross out. He gets past Lone Miyagi's initial detection. Is he going to spot him in the window? He does. He's got him down. Pads out here on objective. Can Brass salvage this for G-Men?
30 seconds in the round. Oh my god, this is going to be a comeback like crazy. Holy smokes. Can Brass get the number in? The nerves have got to be going.
20 seconds.
Not even checking it. Oh, he's coming to check it now. Brass the mouth.
Mantis gets him.
So good. Oh my goodness, this round is
10 seconds.
A Miracle Dev looking for the window. Mantis knows that all he's got to do is just hide out. A Miracle Dev's going for the cap. He's got 7 seconds. Does he have
4,
the
3, 2, 1. He gets it.
Oh,
no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Chickings get the win by a timeout, but my god, what a hell of an end to that round. The G-Men, crazy plays there at the end.
The pressure, too much for
Pressure
G-Men.
getting too much to them, though. They weren't able to convert that map. My goodness, though, that was a heck of a banger for the end of that map, too. Whew. I'm shaking, NightFiree. My hands are shaking a little bit here.
Heart rate elevated to a maximum. That was looking like G-Men were going to come back. What an insane rebound. I mean, Mantis to find the defensive kill there like that and then to have the knowledge to stay tucked in.
Wow.
He was
I
so
can't-
close to getting hit, too. He had lasers just over the top of his head as he stayed ducked down there.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Brass. Oh man, poor Brass. He's never gonna hear the end of that one from his team. But man, oh man, I don't care what anyone says. You know, I'm sure the EU is gonna have so much clout after this. They're gonna be, oh, EU is the best, #1, yes. You know, which granted, they're
Certainly deserve it.
as of right now, definitely. This game is clutch, bro. Clutch.
Yeah, really exciting series today. You know, G-Men ranked 2, Vikings ranked 4. Obviously, a matchup that's going to be an exciting one to drop in no matter what, but wow, Vikings just getting by with that map win, and that's the series for them. Now we go to a third map, which is looking to be Quarantine.
That is correct, at least according to my screen.
And, you know, this is an opportunity for G-Men to negate a little bit of the damage done here. If they can kind of come in strong on Quarantine, bounce back with a decent performance here, maybe snag this map 4-1, 4-2, they're going to nullify how much that MMR hits them, and we may even see not a rank swap, so to speak. You know, G-Men could go down to 3rd, Vikings could go up to... There could be... I don't know. It'll be a lot closer than if they sort of let this one just go to Vikings.
Yeah, that's true. And we know that they won't. They won't just give up on map 3 and give up points just because they lost the series. That's not how G-Men play. But I will be interested to see exactly how they plan to deal with this this energy, because I mean that was so close. They literally were on the cusp of such a crucial comeback there to take us to this 3rd round, which would have been the decider, but unfortunately, oof.
Yeah, and you know that good on Vikings to be able to get that defensive round despite having that drop. Because that would have been a real tough pill to swallow, right? To lose that map and having a drop on that last round.
Yeah, that's got to make the Vikings feel good, having won that after taking that drop, and you know it probably caused them a little bit of panic, realizing that they were gone. Is crazy, but yeah, I mean there was definitely some decision. Like, I mean, right now I'm literally watching as the stream gets to where 404 is trying to sneak by with the tablet out, way outside of the capping range. And, you know, and then Uncle Sam comes out to pop him. So I mean, there were definitely a lot of mistakes made by G-Men, which warranted Vikings to have that win. But to see what happened there at the end, oh my gosh, it's just like you never would have thought. You thought I really thought that was going to be a G-Men win. But I also appear to have frozen. I might have to restart my client, NightFiree.
No worries, we're still waiting on a 5th from Vikings, who has just popped in.
Does look like I need to restart Onward, so they start the round, that's fine. I'll hop in between on the next. But oof, I'm just waiting to see chat's reaction here as we get to the end of that last round.
Yeah, that was an insane round. I mean, I thought I saw the score tick on the Vikings, and my brain was that he capped it because I just saw the score tick. Yeah. But that was, that did go to Vike. That was not. I mean, we obviously Vikings took that map, but. Wow. It's so I'm sure people are wondering about how did he not get that cap? He had so much time. The level of
definitely
stress and hands shaking like crazy. It's so hard to get the right code, and wow, Vikings take the series. Now we dive into map number 3 of this Button Cup matchup, and we'll see if G-Men can rally a bit as we get into the map pick. G-Men don't seem to be too shooken up about it. And I think that's kind of I don't know. That's what I love to see. You know, these teams, even at this level where things, at the rankings are so important. They're still just enjoying the game. They're probably pretty happy to have such a good series on their hands, honestly.
Sorry, I can't commentate on the game right now, so I'm just kind of watching the chat go wild over this play. And
Well, we got to commentate on the game. 404 is pushing up the tanker already. He's got himself a pretty dang good forward position. The rest of this G-Men squad advancing up along the north and a couple up through the central push. A hole in the Vikings defense here, although it's ultimately going to come down to 404 having to push out and cross this street, which is going to be quite the challenge. Nalik does spot across on the north side, takes some shots out through the windows.
So serious so quickly, it's quite funny.
Oh, I got problems. Oh, he's already close to crater. So next time, be careful.
NightFiree, just let me know when your round is up, sir.
Sure. Sure you'll hear it in my voice. Get there. Right now it's just a bit of a back and forth. Some rating of fire going up along this far east side. Knocked him. Subbing in here onto the Vikings squad. Seems to be in an interesting defensive spot as Miracle Dev finds Nalik. 404 with an insane push on the stairs finds two. Shots ring in from his back, and they don't quite land. Suppressive fire from brass to mouth, reinforcing. Vikings down to 2 defenders with all 5 alive for G-Men on their offensive push.
The dream.
Another pickup for 404. Vikings now down to just Noctum, who's rotated out of his long defensive angle and is crashing towards objective. Fortunately for him, the entirety of G-Men is on the side he is. So they're going to have to cross first. And actually, it does look like they are going to try and go for a rotation. 404. Was that the squad? No, it was not. Just 4 for him. But almost the squad wipe as G-Men take their Marsoc round and push up the lead 1-0. You know, just seeing in chat, it is really kind of... It doesn't get more typical than NA taking the full minute, the full 6, the full time and running out of time on their last round in an NA EU battle. Just like it fits. I swear it's not scripted. Sure, you might think it is, and if it was, pretty good script, but it's not.
All right, now I can actually help you, NightFiree. Where they hit this objective. There it is.
That honestly, though, is probably the best match this season. You know, I guess we've had some real good ones. G-Men Globochem was a fantastic way to kick it off. This season has just been the best it's ever been. That's just the facts. It has easily been the most fun Onward to watch and spectate, and I would imagine playing. You know, not being part of the league for a while, you know, I could not compete at this level unless I invested another 100 hours. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta remember that, and I'm sure a lot of folks in the audience know, because a lot of them are players as well. But you know, it's a lot of hours that goes into this team play and this practicing and scrimming and everything like that. It almost becomes a full-time job for some of these guys. And Zach Fontaine gonna be putting in his work as he finds a quick peek kill onto Uncle Sam, who's trying to find some early looks from that northwestern spawn.
You know, Vikings obviously are pretty happy about the series dub, but
as they should be.
If they just kind of flounder this third map, the scoreline could end up being almost even. And so the MMR gain and loss is going to be significantly less than it could be if they end up, you know, taking a dominating win against a team of equal MMR. That's a way bigger boost than getting an equal scoreline.
Man, I am just still reeling over the game that we've had so
know.
far. We're not even finished with map 3 here. Just one round in there. Crazy stuff, just crazy, and just big thanks to those of you who tuned in. I know a lot of you are starting to tune out already because series is over, no one cares anymore, right? Well, we care, and we're gonna bring it to you. We appreciate those of you who
Shall we just wait till the
have
last
tuned
minute
in
and
today.
cycle
This has been,
rotations?
as we've said 100 times, a great game. Sure, Viper can let us know how the other game turned out. I didn't have a chance to tune into that one this morning, but anytime Viper casts something, it usually ends up being a good time.
Was
He
that
and
a button
Radar.
cup?
No, I believe that might have just been an EU matchup. But he and Radar always fun together, and and doing the VRML proud from over on the EU side. So happy to have them back and putting in casts again. They were a little absent while both of them dealing with real life issues, taking care of the families and whatnot. What the heck just happened? What the heck just happened over here in Brastamouth and Zach Fontaine? Sounded like a C4 went off, but didn't see anyone die.
Two for Zach.
Zach likes
Maybe
quarantine,
down.
I think it's safe to say.
Kill feed looking like right now. Only his first 2 kills.
I can't double tap him. He's between roof and that warehouse. North of glass, tank what you're in.
Here comes a prayer of a nade, it seems like, from Nalik, hoping to get that to land next to the building. It actually might. Not enough roll. Rastamouth escapes with his life, but had he been looking around that corner, he might have had a different outcome.
Like, does find 404 up in that hotel room. It should be a pretty easy res. Miracle Dev.
404 not even phased by it. He just says, "Hey, Miracle, res me." And now, to be fair, this is probably the best approach angle for the offense here, but they'll need to utilize that guy that they have over by the tow trucks in order to distract some of the defense away from the south long enough to get them into position, because right now they're going to have to make a lot of big open crossings with defense looking right at it the whole time.
3v5 also not obviously an easy thing to overcome, so a pick
True
or
that,
two
True that.
go a long way.
A pick or two is all it'll do.
Actually, I'm gonna smoke now and try and catch
And at 45 left on the clock.
And here comes the smokes in the south, and that's going to draw a lot of attention towards those Vikings. As I can't see who that is. Zoom. Natchtom, who has come out for the Vikings in round 3 here, has snuck up underneath on the hotel, but although has a minute 20 left, no push coming off of the smokes right now. Never mind, Zach Fontaine's going to find yet another kill. That'll be 3 for him. Natchtom finds a miracle. 404 finds the refrag on a Natchtom. And Zach Fontaine finds Mantis for his 4th kill. Closing the round out. G-Men go up 2-0 here on map 3. NightFiree, this is kind of exactly what we talked about that the G-Men needed, right? I mean, they need to come back big on this last map in order to keep that MMR bleed as minimal as possible. I mean, they've already lost the series, so there's nothing that they can do about that. They've just got to get over that point and focus on map 3, which it seems like they're doing quite well. And if they can shut out on this map, it could do really well for them and keep them possibly even still above Vikings. So I'm pretty sure they will get usurped, and I think beginners will probably go up into rank 2. Vikings will probably take 3, and G-Men will probably go into 4 just because of the way the shuffle will work due to the teams involved. Plus, I don't know, beginners might still have a match left to play this weekend, so it could be that they've got more points to kind of gain.
Sunday, so they'd have to play another match today.
True, and it's already getting kind of late for the EU, so never mind. Probably not.
You could check by heading on over to VR Master League VRML.com/onward/matches. It's there that you can see all the games that will be played throughout the course of a week and what games are going to be cast by whom. We have a cast later tonight on Master League 3, Xandria and TFH. You spectating SEAL Team Bravo versus the Colettos.
Nice. Coletto's been showing a lot of improvement, and watched their game last night. Was really impressed with a lot of their playmaking. They really executed some pushes on Snow Peak, especially. I watched a couple that were just, I mean, like if I were an Italian chef, just mwah, bellissimo. But anyways, we're not watching the Colettos right now. We're watching G-Men versus Vikings. G-Men trying to make sure that they hold themselves to a higher standard here on map 3. The decision making has definitely looked a bit smarter, but Brass the Mouth are going to make a fatal push here in just a moment, and he's going to get punished pretty hard by, I think that's Uncle Sam, but he's pushed off just at the wrong moment.
The man with his shield somehow sneaking past all the defenses yet again.
I think the man's shield has like a button he can push.
Turns on cloaking.
Yeah, he turns on active cloaking. He's got stealth tech in his shield. The nade though! Gosh! Right next to the truck, and Spoilty goes down. It's going to force the rotation of defense to go for the res, but it shouldn't be too difficult as the Marsoc isn't in position to continue to just pressure on it. And then now it seems that the man has been spotted, and he's going to be taking a lot of suppressive fire now. Soon that'll actually be a valid strategy, because soon he won't be able to see out of that window once the devs implement that damage impact to the viewing window.
Yeah. His nade has changed this Vikings defense. It's forced Mantis to be at this truck, sort of stay here. Uncle Sam laying into the man's shield, trying to find an elbow.
Yeah, the man's just hand on radio, though, so it's going to be highly unlikely they're going to find any elbows sticking out. Oh, yeah. The man now going to pressure Uncle Sam here in the south. The man giving even more call-outs. Anything that he can see. Smoke's now coming in from, I believe that was Brass to Mouth off the corner. The man going to try and push up onto Uncle Sam here a bit. He's still calling out everything he sees. Hand on the radio non-stop, not giving any opportunity for rotations to happen. But Uncle Sam will rotate and see a Miracle Dev and find the pick.
On the roof, 404 finds the backside of Noctum, not before he finds Zach Fontaine out in the open, and the man is still alive with his shield here, pumping out rounds towards Uncle Sam, and Brass to Mouth's going to come in and reinforce. He may be able to find a bit of a surprise peek on Uncle Sam here.
Yeah, he's got to be careful, though. If he pops around there too fast, not ready for where to look, Sam's going to be sitting there ready and waiting for him. So if, all right, oh, the man has to tell him to start watching the peak when he's not looking. If he sets Brass up to peek while Uncle Sam's looking, Brass is going to lose out every time.
Uncle Sam getting lasers thrown all over his shoulder here. 404 finds Spoilty. Shots from Brass to Mouth bring out. He finds Mantis on a way farther angle over the shoulder of Sam.
I don't know if that was a mistake and he just happened to make it. Brass basically finishes off the match with the map with his last trade there. The G-Men go up 3-0. The man just cannot think enough of Brass to Mouth. He said, "Ooh, Brass, you're so good." Pretty funny stuff there from the G-Men. They have definitely not lost their spirits after taking a rough loss early in the series. But they are doing well to keep their spirits up and doing well here on this final map.
Yeah, they're 1 point away from evening the overall score line here. They just need to defend, grab this map 4-0. That MMR damage, seriously minimal. I mean, about as minimal as you can make it. You know, that aside from winning in scoreline and losing the match, you know, which would have involved them doing better on Suburbia. But still, to have a tie overall score doesn't really matter in terms of the button cup thing, because People just care about those raw wins on the Button Cup. Comes down to EU v NA. But in the Martox, always something to factor in.
Yeah, it is. But at this point, I think G-Men have currently made up for their point deficit.
Yep.
Actually, they're leading in points at this moment, I believe. No.
Like I said,
No,
they just need
they're-
to score this 1 point, and then they'll tie it up.
Yeah, tie scoreline. Tie scoreline, lost series. It's a bittersweet thing,
Yeah,
but
it
it's
is.
the best you can hope to do. If not, maybe eking out a 1 point win with like a cap on the last map, taking like a 5-0 or a 5-1 or something, you know. But it's the best you can do under the circumstances, and overall, still an amazing game. I think both teams should be super proud of how that went. A few mistakes, more so on the G-Men than I'm used to seeing personally, but you know, at least they're looking to be able to grab at least one map here of the series.
I'd love to see Vikings maybe start challenging more NA teams so that we can get more of these matchups, because this has been spectacular to watch. At the very least, we need to try and get eyes onto a Vikings match, although it is just so hard with the timing.
Yeah, especially when they play them during the week.
Yeah.
Weekends are obviously a little bit easier because we aren't at work typically, you know,
Right.
when they're playing their games. But weekends definitely are a bit easier for us. And I think Vikings usually end up playing their games during the week if
I think
memory
you're right.
serves.
I mean, hey,
And
right when I'm at
that's
lunch.
their way of avoiding casts. That's what it is.
Uh,
Got to start getting Parrot and Mantis, our new EU correspondents, on those games more often, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have Mantis up and running on his own eventually, but you know, tech issues are always a thing.
Pressure pre-fire coming out on the backside of the hole in the wall at 404's position, but nothing really coming of it. I think Uncle Sam... No, never mind. He's looking for something else. He's over in the tank courtyard. Still about halfway up the map here from Vikings. No real advancement here from them in the last couple of minutes. I'm actually kind of surprised to not see a G-Men flank going here.
404 might find knock them pretty soon. Uncle Sam has been desperately looking for 404 through the wall and does finally find him as he rotates.
Still an even 1-for-1 trade for both kills so far. It's a 3v3 matchup here as the Vikings have finally crossed the midway point. Spoilty gonna go ahead and make sure that 404 is dead as heck. Heckin' dead, bro.
We'll push from brass to mouth. He might be looking for an aggressive flank.
It would work, I have a feeling. If he just came down that eastern side and wrapped around with tow trucks, he could at least find Uncle Sam out in the open. He might not find Spoilty right away, but I just worry now because now the man has also come off the objective on the western side quite a bit. And if the Vikings kind of poke through the center, they just take down that one guy on objective, and it's Cap Zone, Cap City, USA.
Oh, the man actually putting on a flank of his own on the opposite side. Catches out one. Brass to mouth might have an eye on Uncle Sam here soon enough. If he does peek.
And he does.
Looking like G-Men evening the scoreline unless Mantis can muster a 1v3.
It all depends on how he utilizes his time and what routes he chooses to take. He's definitely going to have to kind of zigzag it and make it seem like he's more than one person, because if G-Men's kill counts are off, then they might think that there are more than one people out there still vying for this cap. But laying prone, checking these super overly cautiously could end up burning you too much time here, and he could be shooting himself in the foot per se and having to run all the way to the objective nonstop. not having the opportunity to check those spots like the Vikings have done so meticulously today. Now he's rotating backwards towards the south and pushing west, or east, I'm sorry. Trying to figure out, I think, which way is the best to approach, and realistically, he was on the best side to approach from. All the defenders are on the east and right on the objective, but they are looking that way, so it really is a tough call. I don't really think he's got it easy here, and right now it's looking like the G-Men are going to be able to close out this final map and tie up the score line for the final score, but we'll see. 1 minute, 20 seconds left to find out.
Gonna count Manus out just yet. He's got 1 kill. Just got to get 2 more. And there's not necessarily a tight crossfire. I think he could find 1 and then the next. Actually, I don't know. If he does go with this angle, yeah, he's going to have to push up pretty far to get brass.
Zach's going to be completely unattainable to him unless he wraps around the backside of the tractor trailer. Because even at the top of the hill, you can't see where Zach is. So Zach is pretty well concealed until he's completely exposed. And Brass just barely misses the peak onto Mantis there. But I have a feeling it won't be for much longer. Yep, there are the shots now. Brass rings out, and G-Men take the 3rd map in a fashion that we haven't seen all game, which is completely unanswered, 4-0. Makes you wonder if the Vikings kind of gave up the last one a bit, because they had already clinched the series. Maybe they were worn out from all the thinking that they had to do in order to pull it out over G-Men.
I don't blame them if that is the case, because it was an absolute amazing performance from the Vikings squad on both maps. They looked so good today.
They did, man.
You know,
I was very impressed.
So deserving of their high rank overall, and certainly a well-earned victory for the EU squad in this Button Cup matchup. A nice MMR dampener to wrap things up for G-Men there, and you know, I wonder where that coordination and sort of, you know, confidence was the entire series, because I think that could have gone a long way on Suburbia or on Downfall. And you know, a lot of our criticism was coming in from hindsight, so it's just, I mean, what a fantastic matchup today.
Again, I am not complaining. In fact, I have nothing but smiles right now. It's unfortunate that our NA brothers, NightFiree and the G-Men, weren't able to take one home again for us in the Button Cup, but, you know, Vikings definitely earned that, and both teams put on a heck of a show today for us and for our viewers. So I think with that, we got to thank everyone for the bits, for the subscriptions, for the likes, the follows, all of that today. We really appreciate you. Again, there is another cast coming up here. Let me actually
Later
find that
tonight,
time.
in about 3 or 4 hours on Master League 3.
No, it's right now. It happened at the same time ours was. Loyal Dogs Esports versus Berserk.
They changed games.
Or Berserk. Yeah, they must have changed games, but either way, they took an earlier match, so there might be some action still going on over there. But either way, we thank all of you for coming out. We thank the G-Men and the Vikings, but congratulations to the Vikings. Commiserations to the G-Men. The scoreline will be tied, but Vikings do take the series. NightFiree, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Tell the people.
I don't got any. I've expressed them enough. This has been nothing but action-packed matchups this whole season. I anticipate it to get only better from here. So I'm looking forward, you know, to where we're at when we get down to that later half of the season, when those matchups and competition for MMR really start to matter, because it's going to be insane. So just look forward to that. You know, that's all I'll have to say.
For sure, the end of season matchups are going to start getting ridiculous, especially if these teams continue to pull, to put in the time and continue to improve. I mean, I was starting to get to a point in the last couple of seasons where I didn't think things were going to be improving much more. At least until something big gameplay-wise changed, right? But I mean, these teams have found new ways to continue improving, so we'll have to see what happens.
And with that, I think we'll be signing off. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's, my co-caster Sleepy with 2 3's. We will see you guys next week for more VRML action.